In open play, Real Madrid were building the game in back four. Real Madrid were using single pivot, and that was Ceballos. Salzburg were defending in a 4-4-2 formation. Salzburg front two were central and narrow. Salzburg's front two were 2v2 in front of Real Madrid's centre backs. So Real Madrid's pivot was dropping in from midfield and operating in between the centre backs and was creating 3 versus 2 situation in front of Salzburg front two. Salzburg's midfield consisted of 4 players and Salzburg's midfield was operating narrow. Real Madrid's midfield consisted of 3 players due to Ceballos operating between the centre backs. So Real Madrid's midfield was 4v3 against Salzburg's midfield. On the other hand, due to Salzburg midfield operating narrow, Real Madrid's between the lines player were not able to receive the ball. On the other hand, due to Salzburg frontmen pressing Real Madrid centre backs man to man and not giving space to Real Madrid pivot, Real Madrid were not able to build again from the centre. You can see here that due to Salzburg's midfield operating narrow, Real Madrid's midfield was not able to receive vertical passes, and so Real Madrid were forced to build a game from wide. In open play, Real Madrid's fullbacks were operating high and wide. Because of Salzburg's mid-block shape, Real Madrid fullbacks could easily receive the ball in the wide zone. While Real Madrid fullback was receiving the ball, Rodrigo was drifting wide from the center, so Real Madrid had 2 players in the wide zone. But when Real Madrid fullback was receiving the ball, Salzburg's midfielder was ready to close down Real Madrid fullback. When Real Madrid fullback was receiving the ball at the same time, Rodrigo was drifting wide, but then Salzburg's fullback was ready to press him. On the other hand, Salzburg's central midfielder was also coming into the wide zone to help out. So Salzburg's wide midfielder is against Real Madrid's fullback, and Salzburg's wide midfielder and fullback are against Rodrigo. So Rodrigo was 2 versus 1 against Salzburg's central midfielder and fullback. So between the half space and the wide zone, Real Madrid was 3 versus 2 down. You can see here Real Madrid's pivot was very deep and Luka Modric was getting cover shadow, so Rodrigo didn't have option to deliver the pass and Real Madrid were losing ball position. Now let's talk about how Real Madrid was pressing when they were out of position. Let me tell you one thing, that in every game the position of players in of the ball position and with the ball position are different. This was the same case with Rodrigo. When Real Madrid was attacking, then Rodrigo was operating as a winger, and when Real Madrid was defending, Rodrigo was operating as a midfielder. Salzburg was building the game in back four in open play. Salzburg's fullbacks were operating high and wide. Real Madrid had a 4-4-2 formation, meaning that Real Madrid front line consisted of 2 players, and those 2 players were Vini and Mbappe. Mbappe was a striker, so he was operating in the central zone, and Vini was operating in the half space zone. You can see here that Mbappe was pressing the Salzburg's right centre back, and Vini was pressing the Salzburg's right back. Mbappe's position was in the central zone and Vini's position was in the left half space zone, so the right half space was completely open. So when Mbappe was pressing the Salzburg right centre back, Real Madrid's left centre back was free. Now, when Real Madrid was out of position, Rodrigo was operating as a wide midfielder. So, to press the Salzburg's left centre back, the central midfielder Luka Modric had to come forward to press him. Because of Luka Modric pressing, Salzburg's central midfielder was free to receive the ball. So, when Luka Modric was pressing the Salzburg centre back, Rodrigo was forced to defend narrow in midfield. If Real Madrid's wide midfielder was moving inside in midfield, then the wide zone was getting open and Salzburg's fullback was easily receiving the ball in the wide zone. On the other hand, Real Madrid had another problem. Mbappe was pressing the centre back, so when Salzburg's pivot was dropping in to receive the ball, Luka Modric had to perform 2 duties. Luka Modric had to press Salzburg's centre backs as well cover Salzburg's pivot. As we discussed, Rodrigo was in the half space zone due to Luka Modric high pressing, so the fullback could be found by playing a direct pass in the wide zone. Due to fullback operating high, Salzburg's fullback was receiving the ball behind Real Madrid's second line and was playing Real Madrid's midfield line out of the game and then the hopeful cross from the wide zone. Now let's talk about Real Madrid's build of phase. Real Madrid was building the game in the back four in the first phase. In the first phase, Real Madrid was using sole pivot and that was Ceballos. Salzburg had 4-4-2 formation in the first phase. Salzburg's first line was of 2 players. Salzburg's front two were operating narrow. Due to Salzburg's front two operating narrow, Real Madrid's pivot was under pressure from Salzburg's frontmen. So when Real Madrid was starting with short passes, then Real Madrid's centre backs were not able to pass to the pivot. So when Real Madrid's centre backs were starting the game with short passes, then instead of vertical passes, they were playing horizontal passes. Now look at the position of Salzburg's player. Salzburg's front line was in the central zone, so Salzburg's frontman could press Real Madrid's centre backs man to man. On the other hand, Salzburg's wide midfielder were in the half space zone, so Salzburg's wide midfielder could press Real Madrid's fullbacks man to man. Now this is the position of Salzburg's player. Now let us see how Salzburg was pressing when the ball was active. When the goalkeeper was starting the game with a short pass, Real Madrid goalkeeper was playing a horizontal pass. As soon as the ball was active, Salzburg's frontman was ready to press. Real Madrid's fullback was under pressure from Salzburg's wide midfielder, so one centre back was playing a pass to this another centre back. As soon as the ball went wide, Salzburg was doing lateral pass. The problem with lateral pass was that Real Madrid was being forced to take the ball to the wide zone. Now the frontman who had started passing started doing angular pass in front and he covered shadow one of Real Madrid's centre backs. So Real Madrid's goalkeeper had two options, Real Madrid's right back and Real Madrid right centre back. Now Salzburg's left forward was ready to press Real Madrid's right centre back and Salzburg's wide midfielder was ready to press Real Madrid's right back. Now there was a 2v2 press in the wide zone and Luka Modric was also being covered. So Real Madrid were playing riskier passes in their own third, which was dangerous for Real Madrid. But they are Real Madrid, so such situation is nothing for them. In open play, Real Madrid's fullbacks were operating high, so if Real Madrid was losing ball position in the penetration phase, then it was becoming a threat for Real Madrid. Salzburg's first line consisted of two players, so when Real Madrid's speed was dropping in, then there was a 3 versus 2 in front of Salzburg's front line. So if 3 versus 2 was being formed, then Real Madrid's fullbacks had the license to operate high in the wide zone. Real Madrid was easily building the game from the wide zone, but when Real Madrid was trying to build a game from the center, then Real Madrid was facing of problems. Salzburg's compact shape was not giving space to Real Madrid's midfielders. You might have noticed on a couple of occasions that when Real Madrid's pivot was playing vertical pass, then due to Salzburg's vertical shape, Real Madrid was losing ball position. See here, Real Madrid pivot played a vertical pass and the pass got intercepted because both the fullbacks of Real Madrid were high. So when the turnover happened, the wide zone were completely open and Real Madrid was facing 2 versus 1 situation in transition. Real Madrid were having trouble building the game in open play, so after a while, Jude Bellingham was drifting wide to receive the ball. By Bellingham drifting wide, Real Madrid had a player in the wide zone who could distribute the ball. On the other hand, by Bellingham drifting wide, Real Madrid's fullback could push high, and Real Madrid winger Vini could go into the half space. The Real Madrid winger was holding back the Salzburg fullback, so if Bellingham was driving the ball into the wide zone, Salzburg's wide midfielder was facing a 2 versus 1 situation. Because of the overload on the left hand side, Starbucks were drifting wide, so the right wide zone was opening up. So when the right wide zone was opening up, Real Madrid's centre backs were switching the ball from the left to right, and as the Starbucks drifted wide, the Real Madrid winger was able to receive the ball easily in the wide zone.